Mm. It's a snow day. Let's watch some shorts. Hey guys, welcome to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today it's a blizzard outside. So why don't we take a little break and watch some informal shorts? These are going to be shorts from some notable directors that we know and like. I figure we'll start off easy with just 3 directors that hopefully we'll be a little familiar with. They're a little bit white, they're a little bit straight for the most part. Some are perhaps undisclosed, but we'll see some of their earlier work and take a look at what foolish thoughts they had as younglings. I don't know. I'm just trying to avoid the massive snowstorm that's happening outside. We'll start with the 2012 short by the Safdie brothers called The Trophy Hunter. If you guys haven't already, click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Turtle Conservancy. I guess they're doing this for a conservation effort.
Oh, Mr. Key. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. I'm Rick. Happy New Year. Hey, Happy New Year to you. Merry Christmas.
Okay, so I guess we're going for a cinema verite style. You know, The Office, perennially popular in the 2010s.
211. But after I shoot this one, only 210.
This was 211.
I paid for a lot of money, but I shoot this one. This is the Western black.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is like a rare species collector who's choosing to have himself be documented.
She's young and pretty, but
Where did they get this photo of Pamela Anderson from? I always wonder for these kind of like guerrilla type operations. I mean, obviously this is fake because it's like a short film, but for real guerrilla style documentaries, how they managed to collect all this B-roll, like the inserts of him handling the horn or the girls smoking the e-cigarette.
Oh, no.
Eyes wide shut kind of situation.
Don't worry about the monkey, okay? There's a monkey. He like watch the scary movie, okay? We'll come here.
What movie is it?
This is my favorite.
Dude, we got a Zoo kind of situation going on. Zoo is in the documentary. Zoo is in Mr. Hands.
Okay.
What is that?
Okay.
Is that a crocodile or what is that?
No. This is a beautiful turtle.
Turtle.
I recognize that actor from somewhere. I don't know what though.
I've seen a turtle like that.
They need to mic him up. I feel like the Chinese guy is better mic than him.
From the baby, when I'm young,
Or maybe he's just speaking louder.
I raised that, yeah. I paid for a couple $1,000. I don't know what I do now. It's getting bigger, beautiful, and so I maybe keep it, maybe sell it. I don't know, maybe eat it. I don't know.
Eat it?
Yeah, it's good for your health.
Eat your
a
pet?
long life, yeah. Look at that. Look at how. Oh, look at that. How beautiful, right?
Look.
You see that? Look at that.
I wonder if they have to actually get, like some animal rights activists on set for shorts like this, or if they kind of just avoid all of the bureaucracy of it, which would be funny since this was made specifically for like an animal conservancy. But like, is that turtle going to be harmed?
Now it's happy in the water.
Okay. Well, that was the Trophy Hunter by the Safdie brothers. Can't really tell you anything specific about the short, in my opinion, but I guess it speaks to their interest in kind of the illicit underworld of New York City. You know, people operating illegally, whether it be in diamonds and betting. I guess that stuff isn't really illegal, but that stuff in uncut gems, or heists and robberies and good times, or rare animal collection. Cool, that was interesting. So from the Safdies, we'll make just a minor leap in subject and in directorial flair onto David Lynch, and this is an early short. I think people kind of forget how old David Lynch actually is, but this is apparently a short from 1968, the same year that 2001: A Space Odyssey and Oliver came out. This is a short by David Lynch called The Alphabet, and this one's going to be is an even 5 minutes long. Okay.
I was married at the time to Peggy, formerly Peggy Lentz of Chestnut Hill, Philadelphia.
Did David Lynch always sound like
And
this?
Peggy was an art student.
Okay, this
at the
isn't a
Academy
real. This
as
is an
well.
intro to the short.
And Peggy was a beautiful girl with a beautiful singing voice. And
I love David Lynch's voice.
really good painter. And so Peggy's went to her parents' house for a visit, and her little niece was there, and I think in a darkened room, in a
Oh
little
man,
bed,
you can like hear that little hum
was
from
having a
like the
nightmare
reverb of the like
and repeating the alphabet
metallic of
over
the
and
phone
over in
of
this
the mic
nightmare.
or something.
And so Peggy told me about this, and it must have, triggered something, and that was what I went to work on, is the alphabet based on Peggy's niece's nightmare,
Okay.
or my imaginings of it.
Just scooping up people's dreams. I always love for like early David Lynch how deep he goes into the contrast. Like he loves blotting out his pictures with like incredible blacks. This is kind of like his YouTube channel, like his puppet theater channel, in so much as I can't tell you anything that's going on right now. In a weird way, his shorts aesthetic, I mean, I just don't have, I'm not well versed enough in animation, but it kind of evokes the feeling of, besides like, like Terry Gilliam and Monty Python, but oh my god. Jesus Christ. But of, kind of like scholastic learning animation styles, like Sesame Street and the like. Kind of a 60s or 70s byproduct to it. We're back to A. I'm gonna need to watch this like 20 times just to understand what's going on. We're already going into Eraserhead mode. It's like his fears of like child rearing have already emerged in the late 60s. I mean, I will say though, in terms of a possible Eraserhead connection, did that just turn into a penis? That David Lynch did spend like a tremendous amount of time developing Eraserhead. I think it had like I want to say it took like 7 years to make or something, or like 4 years to film. It was a very long process, so you can't entirely trust the 80s release date on that one. That dick turned into a lady. That lady is a baby. Maybe it's Peggy's child absorbing and understanding language or letters, and the letters
You are dealing with the human form.
create language, and the language destroys the mind. Oh man, very who's the director? Who's the theater director? There's an avant-garde theater director who likes to work a lot in like mime stuff or like clowning. That this reminds me of. What's his name? He did Einstein on the Beach. You know the one I mean. The famous avant-garde theater director. Man. So David Lynch was just like always like that, I guess. It's really funny. I think Peggy Lynch is the girl. Somebody produced this. What the fuck? Wait, what's the name of that director? Robert Wilson. There we go. Robert Wilson. Yeah, maybe I should add a Martin Scorsese short to this collection, but I've already seen it, so I kind of don't want to add it. But I might add it in post and whatever for your viewing pleasure. But it's interesting to watching this. I like kind of thought. I kind of like went to think of my mind like drifted off into thinking about Scorsese's short, and just by sheer comparison of them in early stages of their career, I want to say like this is when they were developing artists. They have kind of technical limitations as to what they can produce in terms of theme, ideas, application, all that stuff. So take it with a grain of salt. But it's interesting to see like kind of as a point-by-point comparison how Lynch started out in his shorts versus like Scorsese. Scorsese has this short called like The Shave, I think it is, from around the same time or a little bit earlier. But it's interesting. It is also similarly kind of a little bit dreamy and a little bit surreal in that way that, you know, student films, student art films usually are. Both of them, by the way, were college educated filmmakers. I don't know if Lynch was at this time, but Scorsese graduated from NYU's program back when it wasn't called NYU. I forgot what it's called back then. Manhattan College or something like that. And Lynch went to I think he was like the first graduating class of the AFI program in California. It's an interesting comparison of East Coast and West Coast too, if you want to draw those lines. But Scorsese's short is it's got a surreal feeling to it, and it kind of touches upon his interests in terms of mixing the corporeal with the mental, or maybe even the spiritual, like how our body kind of manifests interior thoughts or desires. And basically it's a short of a guy kind of like shaving his face down to the bone and just bleeding out on his bathroom sink. But it's interesting, like as kind of like surreal and weird as it would be to a movie-going audience, a mainstream movie-going audience, it's still very, very deeply entrenched in realism and kind of like your expectations of how the real world functions. And here, from the onset, Lynch is like, just go full surreal, man. Who gives a fuck? And it's interesting to see kind of like his blend of like, it's not puppetry per se, but his blend of like the kind of I want to say the proscenium of puppetry and of animation, this kind of this idea that you're always viewing something through a lens, like if this is a dream, then you're viewing it from the lens of reality going into a distorted world. And it's fun to see kind of like a recursion that happens as a result. You go into the dream and the dream comes back out at you. The dreams, it's like Freddy Krueger logic. Like when the girl wakes up, she's kind of overtaken by the by the dreamscape and the dream logic. Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very early Lynch, but it's cool to see those kind of ideas in execution or in rummaging around in there. Yeah, so that was The Alphabet by David Lynch. I might give it a watch again to see what are the thoughts I have. Let's move on to some longer stuff. Okay, for our next one, we're going to be watching the 1993 Paul Thomas Anderson short, Coffee and Cigarettes. Cigarettes and Coffee, sorry. Coffee and Cigarettes is a feature-length film by Jim Jarmusch. So, if you're familiar with Paul Thomas Anderson, his first feature, Sydney, or Hard Eight, as it's known by its release title, was actually based on a short. The short is this movie, Cigarettes and Coffee. We watched Hard Eight previously on the channel and got a very deep sense of a lot of tricks and trappings and perhaps a small hint of obsessions that PTA had as a filmmaker from even his first feature length. So let's see if those same traits are true of the original short. And this one is about 23 minutes long, 24. I love that. Cigarettes and coffee. Okay, we're already seeing PTA exercise more economy, and his blocking the feature film has started in the exterior with Sydney walking up to John C. Reilly's character, which would have involved filming outdoor in another setup. So this, I guess, is more economical, starting inside the actual diner itself.
This tradition, this matter of doing things in neat little boxes, it's a matter of making urgency wait, is what it is.
Such
I get the feeling that following these guidelines,
such David Mamet dialogue. Oh man, it's even more obvious in the short. And similarly, in terms of PTA being an early kind of David Mamet adherent or hype beast, he's similarly exploring the relationship between mentor and mentee.
Because that is the correct order of business.
And it's cool to see this in 1993. Like,
I'm going to make myself comfortable first, and I think you.
I don't know. I really don't think he'd be like watching like an early print of like Pulp Fiction or stuff. But this kind of like lackadaisical, meandering, unimportant diner dialogue. It's like
That's why we have these things. That's why we have this coffee and these cigarettes. You understand?
simultaneous
I'm talking
evolution
about
with
our
Quentin
bonfires
Tarantino.
for today. Look, you have something to tell me, something you want to say.
Yes.
So we're going to sit around our bonfire of coffee and cigarettes.
Although I think PTA is being a little bit more serious about it, trying to add kind of
until the coffee is poured.
maybe unnecessary profundity to it. I think I heard in a in either an interview or a commentary with PTA that this character and this short was developed from his desire
What
to
is it?
work with
cigarettes and coffee here in the middle of this desert, along this highway, in
with
this place.
Philip Baker Hall, the
What
actor
is it
playing
that you wanna
Sydney. He's been a longtime fan of his since seeing him
I
in
went to
Robert
Las Vegas
Altman's
this
film
weekend.
Prizzy's Honor. Prizzy's Honor? What am I talking about? Secret Honor? The Richard Nixon one-person play that he did that was later adapted into a film.
Oh. My ass, this isn't some kind of metaphor, some kind of symbol. You spilling the water.
Will you please leave me alone?
Seriously, leave her alone.
No, I wouldn't do that, would I? I wouldn't be smart enough to do that. That would be the smart thing to do. It's not that damn intelligent.
The video quality of this is
brain
so
cells in
bad
my head.
that
Leave me
all
alone.
I could just I have to like fill in who these actors are in my head. So I'm imagining this is Ethan Hawke. Oh, it's not. Obviously, it's not. But who is that?
I hope you like that food. I hope that food's what you like. No, eat up, really. Go fill up on it.
Such
I
David
hope you enjoy
Mamet.
every single last drop of that, because that's it, babe. Now you're gonna know the feeling of not knowing where the next meal's coming from.
Look, I have in my head what I have done.
In true
And that alone is killing
Paul
me.
Thomas Anderson fashion, I love that characters are
Can't
just randomly
take
getting
any more of these
into
insults,
fights
baby, please.
out in the open,
You
just
won't take my
anywhere in the
insults?
world.
No.
It's just such
You will take my
an
insults.
unspoken
You took my money,
PTA
and you will
aesthetic
take my
that people will
insults.
just
You'll take my
randomly get
insults
into fights
and my rage
anywhere.
and any other emotional spaz I feel like, and that'll be you getting off very easy.
This goes all the way down to like Phantom Thread and like, you know,
2 sips.
you're
You're gone.
what's
You're
his
there.
name?
And you don't even know how to play the game.
I forgot
You
what
don't
his
even know the
character's name
rules.
is, but
I want to know what the hell was going on in that pretty little head of yours when you stepped up to a big green craps table. Whee! Huh?
Well, look, please, this is no way for us to spend our honeymoon.
Reynolds Woodcock. There we go. Reynolds Woodcock. This goes all the way down to like Phantom Thread with Reynolds Woodcock immediately starting a fight with Alma over having butter with his asparagus instead of
I prefer
oil.
my asparagus with oil and salt. And knowing this, you've prepared the asparagus with butter.
Fresh, creamery butter.
This is Bill. Who the fuck is this?
I'm like wondering if PTA like met all these actors at Sundance or something. Was this a short he developed at Sundance?
Yeah.
He like
Yeah, I
did like
told
an
you last
early
week.
apprenticeship or
Last Thursday.
like workshops there.
Yeah. No,
That's how he met Philip Seymour Hoffman, I think.
when the moon was full and the dogs were barking. No. What?
I hate telephone
I don't
acting.
think so.
It's in so many
It's a matter of
movies.
opinion, isn't it?
I'm just like, I'm glad we're past people talking into like an empty telephone receiver. It's like an interesting, like tricky, like trope of acting.
No shit.
There's definitely actors who
No
are
fucking
good at
shit.
it. It definitely presents a style of acting.
I'll tell you.
I just hate it so
Are
much.
you ready? Because I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened.
Well, your story, it's sort of concept that, it can be full of that kind of speculation.
Speculation? Coincidence, speculation, right and wrong. You must have more of a feeling than just speculation.
He sounds like it sounds like Andrew Garfield's American accent.
What, you want to hear it again?
He has that same like vocal posture, oral posture as Andrew Garfield when he's doing an American accent, just like talking with his like his jaw jutting out. For advice.
And why have you told me?
To get your advice.
Advice?
Yeah, on what to do.
Good.
Ooh
You're
boy.
not coming to me for advice
Did
on what you
Paul
should
Thomas
believe.
Anderson edit this himself?
And there is a difference.
Because it is like, you know,
I know what to think.
director, first time director editing, where it's like directing directly on the, cutting directly on the line. It's actually really heartening to see all this stuff because he really adapted fast and he really grew a lot from his first experiences. Like the overwrought dialogue is pared down so beautifully over the course of his career. The editing gets so much like more naturalistic and languid.
Sometimes I'll take a bill out of my pocket and I'll write my name across the back of it. It's just one of these things that I do. I believe it will work as a good luck charm.
You can see the same thing with like the Coen brothers and the really good stuff they did with Barry Sonnenfeld, like the POV cam stuff, the Sam Raimi stuff, that they eventually just cut all the way down to direct in opposite shots with Roger Deakins.
My friend Steve from Portland. My best friend. The best man at my wedding. The man who my wife and I have come to vacation with. He asked if he can borrow a 20. I gave it to him.
Shot, reverse shot, sorry. Shot, reverse shot.
See that? See how the money goes away? Never to be seen again?
Just a bunch of angry fucking men in Paul Thomas Anderson movies.
You can't bring it back, and I can't bring it back. Oh, hell. Unless we go back to your perfect little world and step up to a big fucking crap stable.
He looks like a TV actor. Who the fuck is that? He looks like the guy in the prison guy who like was like Rectify. He looks like the guy in Rectify.
Well, this isn't a perfect world.
No, the fuck, it's not a perfect world. It isn't.
Oh, he is also some guy in Twin Peaks. That's odd.
I went back into the casino. I thought nothing of it. I knew he'd pay me back. We had plans to meet our wives back at my room before dinner.
All of these younger
He said he was
actors
going
look
next
like
door
different
to play
versions of Steve Zahn.
You can't get back yesterday or the day before or even this morning.
I know that. That's the whole thing. That's the whole point of this story.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole story.
And that's the way it is. Yes.
You can kind of actually see
I will speak to you tomorrow.
less so
the
this
next day,
feeding
the day
directly
after
into Hard 8 or even Boogie Nights. I kind of get a Magnolia feel from this.
Yeah.
The simultaneous storytelling.
Well, I guess that's it then.
With like no necessary like supposed driving engine, like
Black coffee.
more creating like a mood or an atmosphere. And also with a lot of these kind of like these zoom-ins really kind of like evokes the feel of Magnolia for me.
May I have one of your cigarettes?
Cools. I like cools. Minty flavor. What does PSH say in the master?
Everything will be
Something
fine.
completely
Everything will
stupid.
come right in the end. I like cold. Minty flavor.
There's something I need to tell you.
Jesus.
Out of 20.
I have this friend, and he knows this man. He's a stranger to me. And they call him Bill. And,
They call him Bob.
Bill's in the business. The business of,
What?
Rare species hunting?
I want to kill my wife. I want to kill Steve.
If these two stories are interconnected, I'll be really pissed. They should really have noticed each other in the diner earlier.
Keep the change.
Keep the change, you filthy animal. I wonder what Philip Baker Hall sounded like as like a child, or even as a young actor.
Help me,
I'll watch some of his older stuff. Why not?
please. I can't let this happen.
Oh my God, Steve's on, please.
I can't let my wife and friend be killed.
You can't let your hair be like this. This is like a cool short. I think perhaps
I know.
PTA put too much plot into it and too much plot towards the end. This feels really like bottom heavy. Or not.
Home, Stevie.
Yeah, this is actually really Magnolia-ish, like a bunch of kind of coincidences piling up on each other to create serendipity, or to create an act of God. I don't know what Magnolia is about.
I don't know how much I'm able to help you.
But this was the plot of Sydney. Last act revelations. I'm glad that PTA doesn't do this anymore, because it's like really, really melodramatic. And I'm glad he's lightened up on this shit.
More coffee?
Nope, no thanks. No more coffee.
Yeah. I'm like, the thing I'm like most glad about is that Paul Thomas Anderson seems to have gone from an incredibly literal filmmaker almost to the point of hitting you over the head with it. Even Magnolia, for its kind of like posturings of philosophy and religion and whatnot, it really literalizes it to the point of having frogs raining down from the sky. But as his films have progressed, these things have like really kind of opened up and become more abstracted and more kind of like experiential for the audience and for the characters, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, so this was Coffee and Cigarettes. Cigarettes and Coffee. This was Cigarettes and Coffee. It's a short, but it's cool to see that watching this, I'm like, did Boogie Nights come out of absolutely nowhere? Because watching this, I saw threads that would come into play for like definitely Heart 8, but also for Magnolia. I don't see Boogie Nights at all in this movie, and it's just so weird. Boogie Nights is such a good movie, but it seems to have come like out of thin air in terms of in Paul Thomas Anderson's career. So I feel like he was really lucky to like fall onto that idea, because it really jettisoned him into the limelight, and it was just such a lot of good ideas for a young filmmaker to like capture and chrysalis at that point in his career. It's like exactly the right movie to make as a young filmmaker. But yeah, Coffee and Cigarettes, or Cigarettes and Coffee. God damn it. That was a day of Sunday snow day shorts. If you like the video, subscribe, and yeah, leave a like, leave a comment. What are some other shorts I should check out? I think the Whiplash short is available somewhere online. I've seen the Martin Scorsese one, but I'll leave a link for you to like check it out. It's good. I like it a lot. There's some Sofia Coppola's out there. Yeah. And next time there's a snow day, I might check out some more. But until next time, keep watching good movies.